Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James, and it's time for another installment for Accelerated Dragon. This time, we're going to be taking a look at the Bishop C4 modern system against it with A5 Knight G4 exclam. For those of you who don't know about this, let's go ahead and take a look. This is a very good line to play against the modern variation with Bishop C4. Here we go. We start with E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, D4, C takes, Knight takes, Pawn G6, Knight C3, Bishop G7, Bishop E3, Knight F6, and of course, like we said, it's the modern variation, so Bishop C4 gets played. Castles, Bishop B3, an important move to play because, well, if you're not paying attention, go ahead and castle. Black can go ahead and play Knight takes on E4 here and just have a better position. As after Knight takes Pawn D5, well, you're going to get back your piece, plus you're going to be having an extra pawn in the center, and White has lost all their pawns. So White goes ahead and plays Bishop back to B3. And now Black has the interesting move of playing pawn to A5. As we looked in the other variations, the idea of A5 is to play pawn to A4 here. So one of the ways that White tries to get out of this is playing pawn to A4. Well, let's see. What do we play here? Here we have a very interesting idea to play, which is Knight to G4 exclam. Again, I think this is one of the best ways to play against this system. And here you might be saying, well, can't you just take the knight? Well, you can, and in fact, this is White's best try. White goes and takes on G4, but what happens here? Well, we get to take on D4. Knight takes on D4, and here, well, White's best move looks like it's Queen to H4 here. If you do play the Queen D1, Black is just better in these lines after Knight takes on B3. And if anyone's asking, can't we just take the Knight on D4? Well, you can, but after Bishop takes on D4, Black is typically better, if not just winning, in a lot of these lines where he just has the extra bishop here. A dark square bishop is very important in these Accelerated Dragon games. So with that being said, here Queen H4 got played, Knight takes B3, C takes B3, and White is already, well, in a decent position. I'm actually very curious here. White does have a winning percentage here, although computer's giving this as pretty much equal here. And well, Black plays the best move here. A nice rook lift here, rook to A6, castles kingside, rook to E6, putting pressure on the E4 pawn. Rook A D1 makes sense, and a lot of these lines, what White's trying to do is either go for kingside attack or try to put pressure on your D pawn over here, and that's exactly what this Rook A D1 move does. All right, Black plays Pawn B6, not a move we typically want to play here because you can see that the bishop is just making a target out of this pawn, but well, we want to bring this bishop out, and playing something like D6 here is not to be recommended, as White can play Knight D5. And you can see Bishop B6 is now their square. Plus, it really cuts off a lot of squares for this rook over here. Yeah, and computer's already given this a +1 position. I mean, this is just winning here. With that being said, here Black went ahead and played B6. Bishop D4, try and trade off the light square, the dark square bishop. Again, it's funny, although the bishops are worth a little bit more for Black here, trading off the bishops does not guarantee an advantage. Well, Bishop B7 got played. Let's just keep developing our pieces. Bishop takes, king takes, rook to D3. Makes sense here. Here White was looking to double up rooks and put ultimate pressure on this D pawn. Alright, Black went ahead and played H6 here. Rook over to D1. It looks like White just has a very good position here. After D6 got played, White tried Rook H3 here, trying to go for a full-on attack. Here I believe White's best chance is just to keep putting pressure here actually in the center or on the B pawn over here. So something simple like Pawn F3. Maybe the queen can jump back to F2. Queen D2. Again, just kind of slow roll this. There's no need to play so hastily. Well, I guess White was really feeling in the mood. They really wanted to do the attack, so they went ahead and played Rook to H3 here. Okay, and now Black goes ahead and plays Pawn G5, the best defensive move here. Not only does it stop the attack on H6, but it actually attacks White back. And well, after this, Black actually has the advantage here. Rook G3 got played. Queen C8. A nice tricky little move here. You can see that the queen is actually eyeing over here on the queen side, but also opened up on the c-file over here. Maybe queen c5, rook c8's in the air. Queen g4 got played, a mistake, and now it's Black to move. A very nice tactical idea here to, well, win some material. Black to move. Can you see this idea here? All right, hopefully you push pause. Hopefully you're trying to play along. Here, Black has this beautiful idea. Bishop takes on e4 here. Okay, is that just not a free piece? Well, obviously we can't take back with the queen because, well, rook just takes over here. And if we don't take back, we're just losing. So knight took on e4. Can you see the idea now, though? What is the move here for Black to play here? Of course, you see it now. Here it's pawn f5, forking the queen and the knight here. So, well, we're just going to be having a better position now. Knight takes on d6. Only move here if you don't want to be losing material. Rook takes on d6. Queen back to e2. Rook takes d1 check. Queen takes d1. Rook d8. Queen e1. King f7 and rook c3. Here we're just in a rook and pawn, rook and queen endgame here. Queen d7 here. King to f1. Queen to d1, and here we're going to transpose into a winning rook and pawn endgame. Rook to e3, check, takes, and here, well, go ahead and enjoy this nice endgame. I'll be stopping in a few points in this game just to clarify some of the positions. Here, king f6 got played. Here, black's going to simply start pushing his pawns forward as well, although it's going to be pawns even in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, black does have a majority because it's 4 pawns versus 3, meaning he can create the extra passed pawn over here. And, well, although white does have equal pawns over here, these are double pawns, and, well, 2 versus the 2, right? It's not really 3 here because they're doubled up. So here, black's going to be pushing in the center and has good chances on winning this game. Rook c3 got played. Rook to d4 here. Rook check, rook back. Here, again, not a bad idea. If white does trade over here, this is just going to be a winning king and pawn endgame, or a very good advantage here, as you're just going to have a passed pawn here. All right, back to the game. Rook c4 got played. King to e5, king e2, rook to d4. Again, this is just a winning king and pawn endgame. Rook went back to c6, rook to b4. Here, the rook is very well placed here because, well, we're attacking the b3 pawn, and, well, taking on h6 would just be a terrible idea, as after rook takes b3, the b2 pawn will fall, and behind it, well, we get our 2 versus 1, meaning we're going to be creating a passed pawn over here. The 3 pawns over here, yes, you should be able to create a passed pawn in the future. It's just going to be a little too slow in this endgame, and, well, whoever creates the passed pawn first is going to win this game. So rook c3 got played. We're not going into the other endgame over here. King d5, king to d2, rook f4, king e2, h5, rook c8, rook b4, rook c3. Again, you can't let this b pawn fall. It's nice to let white know who's in charge here, which is definitely black. Here you see he's slowly pushing his pawns forward over here. And, well, now's the right time to do it. e5, saying, yes, I have 4 pawns versus your 3. Here we go. King d2 gets played. Rook d4 check, king e2. Rook e4 check, king d2. Rook d4 check, king e2. Probably just gaining time on the clock or messing with his opponent psychologically. Here just saying, again, I'm in control of this. You can try to repeat moves. I'll just gain some extra time on my clock. And when I'm ready, I'm going to start pushing forward. Of course, he doesn't repeat. There's no draw here. g4 gets played. Rook to c7. Rook b4. Rook to c3. Again, white is trying to get some kind of activity here, but black is just not allowing it. Check. King over. Check. King over. f4. Again, toying with his opponent a little bit. Rook c8, rook b4, rook c3, e4. Here, final display or the final push through is going to be happening very soon. King d2, h4, king c2, and only now with all the pawns pushed into place at their best square, here black plays a nice move here. Pawn to b5 exclam. Okay, don't we just take here? Yes, you do, but there's nice ideas here. Again, it's 1 pawn versus the 2, and they're just doubled over here. And, well, you're pretty much forced to take, because if you don't, well, we can just take over here. Here, white tried to get active, though, and played rook to c8. Pawn takes, rook check, king e6. Pawn takes, rook takes a4. Was there something wrong with taking over here on b5? After something like a takes b5 over here, the rook takes back. Again, it's just going to be an easy way to keep pushing through here. All right, back to the game. King e6. Pawn takes, rook over here. And this is one of the ideas. Here, there's no good way to defend the pawn. But, well, this is something that black had calculated and saw that this was still just going to be a winning position. Pawn f3 got played. G takes. Rook takes on h4. Rook c4 check exclam. King back. Rook b4. King e1. And here, pawn to a4 here. A nice little zugzwang part. Here, it's really hard for this rook to move anywhere because this h-pawn is kind of in the way. And once the king gets to e4, or defends the e4 pawn, with lots of different moves here, probably I like d5 the best, going to d4 here. The b2 pawn will fall, and our passed pawn is going to be a little bit closer. Plus, there's nice ideas about playing e3 here, saying, hey, we have another passed pawn, which can be the f-pawn very soon. Rook h4 check, king e5, rook over, king f4 check, king g5, rook over, and now we could just take on b2. Rook a8, king f4, and pawn h4 gets played. What's wrong with taking over here on a4? Well, after rook takes right here, well, it's these two pawns versus these guys over here, so rook check over here, king d2, and even better than winning this pawn over here is if you win this pawn, well, you just have two passed pawns here. Rook f1, and it should be a very easy game here after rook takes f2. Back to the game, h4 got played. Here, white's just trying to create some counterplay on the king side, saying, hey, if you waste too much time here, I'm going to push up over here, and maybe I'll be able to get something going. To no avail, this will happen, though, because, well, our pawns are just faster. Rook b1 check, king over. Rook b2 check, king over. Rook e2 check, king over. And now rook a2, threatening the simple idea of rook over here checkmate. Checking this king won't do any good, as after rook check over here, king g4, well, this pawn will be falling pretty soon here, and it's just another winning position. So king e1 got played, king g4 anyways, rook over to e1 to attack the e4 pawn, and here we just play rook e2 check, king f1, and then pawn to a3. You could take this pawn over here on h4, but the idea here is to get the pawn to a2. Once this happens, as after a3 got played, black is just winning, white went ahead and resigned. For instance, after something like rook over to h1, a2, here we can simply just play rook over to b2, and now you have the idea of rook check and then making a new queen. And of course, this pawn stops, so here there's apparently just a forced checkmate over here too. I guess the king can jump over to h3, not even allowing the king to escape over here to the g file. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this very instructive rook and pawn endgame, and also this very nice idea to play. If you do play this idea, the main line for white to play to get the advantage is for them to go ahead and allow the e4 pawn to fall and play, knight to b5 there. So after a4, you just go ahead and take. That being said, hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.